This guitar has been both incredibly fun and incredibly disappointing for me. I don't want to get straight to the negatives because it has a lot of strengths. For starters, just the fact that it exists is nice. Epiphone has a beautiful, storied 150-year history that's often overlooked because of their modern status as the import brand for Gibson's models. So a special version of an Epiphone original is always cool to see. And going beyond the visual, there's the sound. And this is one of the best sounding guitars I've ever played. Definitely my favorite sounding Epiphone. The clean tones are full and balanced, so I knew they'd be adaptable for any sound someone's going for. And that shouldn't be surprising. It's got Gibson USA mini humbuckers in it. But I've had those in the past in a 70s Deluxe Gibson Gold Top, but I didn't like them. They were unusably bright and thin to me. In this Wilshire, though, I think they're incredible. And I'm not going to get clinical here, but the Wilshire is much more resonant than that Les Paul. And the positioning of the bridge pieces and pickups and relative positioning of everything in this guitar is different, even though the scale length is 24 3/4 and the pots are CTS, just like the Les Paul. That's probably why. All I know is that this Wilshire sounds really good, and after hearing the clean tones when I first plugged in, I couldn't wait to have fun with gain tones. Sound-wise, I have to say I think it can do everything. Any sound, any tuning even. I tuned down a full step to D standard here in the video, but I also played around in standard tuning and drop C as well outside of this, and it sounds great with anything. And now I'll be shallow and say that it looks as good as it sounds. The Pacific Blue finish is a welcome change from the typical reds and blacks. It looks awesome, and the Batwing headstock is awesome, of course. Now I do know some people wanted block inlays, but personally I think that could have been overwhelming on here and it wouldn't have been so accurate to the older original models, like the one played by Kevin Murphy. Now I love how it sounds, I love how it looks. My disappointment comes from the way it feels, the overall quality control and presentation. I open the box, there's this amazing, sturdy but lightweight case, which is great, because the guitar itself is lightweight too, mine's a little under 6 pounds. The Wilshire was protectively packaged, so I opened it and took all that stuff off, and the action was about 1/2 inch, which I do not care about at all, as long as the tools to correct that are included. To adjust the string height here, you need a flathead screwdriver. That's not included, but that's also okay. Screwdrivers are ubiquitous enough that I wouldn't expect them to be included. You can use a butter knife or a guitar pick or something if you need to. I put that on the back burner anyway because the frets needed cleaning. They were really scratchy and the board was scratchy and a little dry, so I decided to unwind by pulling out the Music Nomad Frine, Ernie Ball Wonder Wipe, and getting to work. There's a theory that Frine and Gorgamite or whatever fret cleaning stuff is just reacting with the fret metal, and the residue you see isn't actually debris, but a byproduct of a chemical reaction. That's not true. If you go over a fret once it's been cleaned, you won't see any residue. Once I finished that up, I put some Tune It in both sets of string slots, tuned up to D standard, lowered the action, and had to make a truss rod adjustment. I go back to the case, and there's no Allen key. I forgot, Epiphone doesn't include the Allen key for their truss rods, and that's not something that makes sense to me at any price point, but especially not at $900. If this is your first guitar, or at least your first Epiphone, you're probably not going to have an Allen key that would work to adjust the truss rod. Strike one. Strike two showed up at the same time. The bridge. The Tune-O-Matic saddles are uneven. They're not cut properly, and that puts you in a position to where your G and B strings are noticeably higher than the others. I've had 10 Epiphones, and of the 7 that had Tune-O-Matics, 4 had this exact same problem. It's fixable, it's not the end of the world, it's just a guitar, but you shouldn't have to fix it. At the very least, the hardware on a guitar shouldn't hinder its playability out of the box. If Fender's sending out $200 Squires without hardware issues that affect playability, I think Epiphone can do that too. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that for $900 or really any amount of money from these big brands. Strike 3 is the frets. None of them are sharp, so that's good, but a couple of them are high, so there's a bit of buzzing. Again, easy fix, but at this price point, I don't think it's unfair to expect more from Epiphone, or at least expect that there would be less money leaving your wallet for this. Truthfully, if I bought this, I would be disappointed. The nut could be cut a little lower and better, the saddles are wrong, and that probably contributes to the tuning stability not being so great. So yeah, it could be better. And statistically now, not every one of these Wilshires will have these issues, so it might be worth the gamble for you if you're like me and you like how good it sounds and looks, and if you're not happy with it, problem if you buy it from my partners at Sounds. You have 45 days to return it. So in addition to them being unconditional partners who support me to make these videos, they're the best place to shop. 17 years and they've never let me down. I've said as much as I feel like I should at this point, but I want to end this video the way I started it by focusing on the Wilshire's strengths, the sounds. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you liked it, and if you want to hear more of the guitar, watch through to the end.